Documenting
your life.
Document
your life.
Documenting your life.
Documenting
Your life. Documentation.
Document.
I've been documenting everything.
Like me, you may have heard creators talk about the importance of documenting your life. However, as somebody with thousands of photos, videos, chat logs, and screenshots piled up in my phone and desktop, I can't help but feel that the essence of remembering lies beyond documentation. I stumble upon these files once every few months if I'm being generous, and when I do, I don't really feel much of anything. It's just a pile of loose snippets of my life dumped into a digital void, not unlike the memories in my human brain. If you consider yourself a creative person, whatever it is, maybe you write or make music or draw, take photos or dance, and everybody has a little bit of that in them, the way to remember the important stuff is by processing all the chaos through yourself and creating something from it. Creating order from chaos is often a painful, slow, and frustrating process. It feels like an impossible task to make something that can replicate your memory of an experience. So I often put off this task and let my files gather dust because, well, it's confusing and difficult. How do I do it? What do I make? Does it even matter? To help give some structure to these thoughts, I've started asking myself 3 key questions. Who am I documenting for? How do I want to remember this? And what form should these memories take? And a bonus, am I overthinking this? Because sometimes I feel like I do that, but also it's kind of my job, so it's fine. Okay, let's get a little deeper with these questions and put them into practice with some examples. Recently, I went on a 1-week retreat to Oregon called Basecamp. It was a gathering place for around 40 creatives of all types, and every day was filled with new friends, new conversations, and so many things that I want to remember. But even though this trip was just earlier this month, I find myself forgetting so much already. So let's go through all these questions together and I'll show you how I'm thinking about remembering. Documentation is raw, unfiltered material. It can take any shape depending on who you want to make something for. Are you making it for your friends and family? Or for thousands of people on social media? Or are you making it for you 10 years in the future? Narrowing this down is the first step to deciding what to make and will inform the following questions. For example, concerts are amazing experiences, and our instinct is often to share clips of it on social media. Every time I see someone do that and they're not a fan account, I always wonder, who is this for? It can't be for me or the rest of your friends or followers because this video is highly chaotic and I can't tell what's happening at all. Is it for you? Is sharing this helping you remember your experience in some way? I don't know, maybe it is, let me know. If you really want to document and share your concert experience, maybe take some time to consider how you want to do that and who you want to share it with. When it comes to the Basecamp project, I want to make something for everybody who I met. So that's a small, specific audience of about 40 people. I also want to make something for my future self so that I can recall my experience there. Which specific feelings, sensations, and thoughts do I want to remember from this experience? This is why I think just taking videos or photos is just one of your options. Fellow YouTuber Johnny Harris on this same topic said that videos and photos limit your memory to only the visual aspects. It dilutes the memory of your physical and internal sensations. I am a visual person, but my memories aren't. For example, if you ask me, what do you remember from living in the Bay Area? I wouldn't tell you anything about how it looked or the things I saw. I would tell you about what I was thinking, what I was struggling with, the connections I made with people, and what I ended up learning. These things are hard to express through a raw photo or video. Documenting and subsequently creating is about conveying how you understood this experience and how it affected you. I hope this doesn't come off as extremely mundane advice, but it has to be said because there are so many soulless creations on this planet, and it can be frustrating when you're making something that feels empty or substanceless. Personally, if you're telling me a story, I don't care about what happened. I want to know how you experienced it. Each person's unique perspective is way more valuable and interesting to me than the experience itself. But sometimes it can be difficult to find the way you want to express yourself or even narrow down exactly what you were feeling and thus want to document. But that's the thing, right? Remembering is difficult, and that's why we have to do it. Well, how do I want to remember Basecamp? I want to remember the crisp October air, cloudless blue skies. I want to remember waking up early and being able to walk to the cafe and see Katie painting moles in love. I want to remember the long drives where Jackie kept skipping songs right before the chorus, which pissed me off really bad, where I could listen to the rumbling of the car and everyone talk about their dreams, their work, and their life. I want to remember introducing myself to Moi by asking if she liked anime, and then immediately having to hang on to her for dear life as we hiked through a pitch black underground cave. I want to remember the little things, the ridiculous things, everyone's weird quirks, the things we laughed about, the things we had quiet, serious conversations about. This is the version of Basecamp that I want to remember. Memories can take many different shapes. A photo album, a scrapbook page, a journal entry, or maybe a wall of Polaroids. Maybe you write lyrics, compose a song, and add some voice snippets from videos that you took. Or you write a story where the characters all have little quirks inspired from the people that you met. Maybe you make a series of short videos for social media, or write a series of letters and mail them to your friends. Even if you consider yourself one certain type of artist, or you don't consider yourself a creative at all, there are infinite ways for memories to take form. Take some time to consider the way that you would like to remember this experience, and the form that you would like to share it through. For Basecamp, there are two aspects that I would like to remember. Firstly, the individuals that I met, my impression of each of them. I want to remember what we talked about and what makes them interesting and weird. Secondly, I would like to remember the holistic experience, kind of like a more sensory, objective memory. The outdoor adventures and shared experiences, the things that we did together. So these kind of have to be treated differently. I didn't take video footage of every little interaction I had with people. These moments are spontaneous and impossible to replicate and capture, and I wouldn't really want to. For the first point, I decided to draw a small portrait of everyone that I met. Much of my career is built on drawing expressive characters full of personality, and this is how I understand someone. I've always thought that to draw is to understand and to remember. The process of drawing is remembering. The second thing, the shared experiences that I want to remember, that one is a little bit more straightforward. During the retreat, there was a challenge held to see if two groups of songwriters could write a song in 1 hour. One of the songs was about remembering, and I thought, wow, how perfect is that? So I asked them if I could have a copy of that song once the retreat was over and make a little bit of a video with it. That video will be at the end of this video, so stay tuned if you're interested in watching it. The best thing about approaching documenting in this way is that it really relieves me of FOMO. Like the sort of FOMO that I get when I'm in the middle of an amazing experience, but I get the urge to pull out my camera or my phone and I'm like, okay, hold on. If I record this, it's going to water down the experience. I'm not going to be present. I'm going to be stressed out about capturing this. Well, once I realized that the things that I want to remember are things that can be captured asynchronously, I can focus on being in the present and observing, thinking about exactly what makes this moment so special so that I can reproduce it later. Because the things I want to remember are not always the visual things that cameras can capture. Meeting so many creative people at Basecamp has helped solidify this fact, as these past few days I've been watching them create so many different interpretations of the same week, from shorts to vlogs to music to photography, writing, and more. So thank you Basecamp for this wonderful experience. This video is dedicated to all of you. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I can't wait to see where you go.
Did we forget to live our lives for we're grown? I can't remember the last place I called home. Reminiscing the days we were in on. A perfect memory glazed with something chrome. What if we forget this? What if we forget this? What if we forget this? I wanna remember you, I hope you feel this too. I gotta get out my head, I wanna see this through. I wanna remember you, I hope you feel this too. I gotta get out my head, I wanna see this through. I don't wanna leave this behind. I don't wanna keep losing sight. What if we forget this? What if we forget this? What if we forget this? I wanna remember you, I hope you feel this too. I gotta get out my head, I wanna see this through. I wanna remember you, I hope you feel this too. I gotta get out my head,